Namaste yogis, and welcome back to another Yin Yoga session. Today is a really beneficial class for runners. However, of course, you don't have to be a runner to do this class. You will still get all the benefits of the stretches. We're going to go deeply into the hips, the feet, and the glutes. So really nice for everyone to do. So in a Yin Yoga class, we usually stay in the poses for a bit longer. For today, we're going to stay in each pose for about 2 minutes. And because we stay in the poses for longer, we don't really build up a lot of heat in the body, so it can get cold. If you, like me, and you freeze easily, then I would highly recommend that you put on something nice and warm, nice and comfortable. You can put on some nice soft music to create a nice atmosphere. I've got some incense burning at the back, so just make it a really nice and relaxing space for yourself if you want to. I'm not going to use any props today, especially also because we won't stay in the poses too long, only 2 minutes each. But if you feel comfortable using a blanket or a pillow or maybe yoga blocks, you can keep them handy just in case. If you have discomfort in the knees, then I would highly recommend that you just keep a thin pillow or a blanket handy, because we are going to do some work on the knees. Once you've gathered everything you need, I will meet you back on your mat and we'll get going. We're going to start today in a nice relaxing child's pose. So you can make your way onto the knees and shins. And bring the knees about mat width distance apart, big toes are touching, and we sit back onto the heels. So in our practice today, or our session today, I'm not going to talk too much. We're going to lie in stillness and just find some relaxation here. And also, because we hold the poses for a bit longer, you don't want to go all the way to that high intensity feeling or stretch. You want to just go to that first edge, where you can feel the good kind of stretch, where you feel like you can stay there for quite a while. And just allow gravity to do most of the work for you, and learn to get comfortable with the silence. It's often a lot more challenging than moving and doing a lot. Okay, so from here you're just going to walk the hands forward and release the forehead down to the floor. We'll be here for about 2 minutes. Prepare yourself to gently come out. Take your time. Everything is a bit slower in Yin Yoga. So make your way up and we'll move into dragon pose. So this is probably the most challenging pose of all. So we're going to step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Coming into this low lunge, you want to feel the stretch in the left hip flexor and also in the groin of the right leg. This can be quite challenging. Maybe you need blocks here if the floor moves away from you. We're going to be here for 2 minutes as well. You can stay on the hands, or if you want to go deeper, you can drop down onto the forearms. If there's pressure on the knee, you can open up the toes to the long side of the mat. And again, here you're welcome to place a pillow underneath the left knee if there's any discomfort. Other than that, just try to find stillness and maybe even a bit of relaxation in this pose, even if it's challenging. If at any point it becomes too much, you can always just come out, release a bit, straighten out that right leg. Just go to as far as you can today. I know this one's challenging. Good, let's release out. If you were on the forearms, come back up onto the hands. Let's just take a bit of a break here, a counter pose. So you're going to step into a downward facing dog. Doesn't have to be a pretty one or a perfect one. You just want to move a little and get the blood flowing. Let's release back onto the knees and we'll move to the other side. So step the left leg or the left foot to the outside of the left hand and sink nice and low into that lunge. So you feel it on the right side and also in the groin and hip area of the left side. Again, you can choose to stay on the hands or maybe drop down onto the forearms. Good. You survived the most difficult poses of this session. So you can release out, come back onto the hands if you were in the forearms. And again, we'll just take that nice down dog to get the blood flowing and give the knee a break. And then from here, we're going to go into dangling pose. So saying hi to the hamstrings. So you can walk the hands back toward the feet. And the feet are about hip width distance apart here. And you just allow the upper body to be really heavy. So keep the legs relatively straight so that we can get that nice hamstring stretch. And you just allow the arms to be heavy, dangling down. If you want to create more weight in the upper body, you can always clasp the elbows and just allow the upper body to release down. Make sure that the head is nice and loose so that the neck can relax as well. You're always welcome to have a bend in the knees in these poses if it's too intense. Okay, let's release out. So just come down onto the knees. We'll go in for a nice toe stretch. Well, I say nice. For some people, this is excruciating. If it is too much for you, you can always sit on a thick pillow on the shins, and that way you can control the weight on the toes. Otherwise, you just bring the hands out in front of you, and then you can control how much pressure you put on the toes. Otherwise, if you're quite comfortable, you can sit back onto the toes. If your pinky toe is like mine and wants to escape, you can just gently tuck it under so it can join the party. And then we'll just sit here for about 1 to 2 minutes. If at any point you need to release out, feel free to do so. Close your eyes and just find stillness in the pose. I know it can be challenging, sitting with the discomfort. But you're not only stretching the body here, but also training a bit of mental resilience and perseverance. Nice. We release out. Just move the ankles around a little, maybe wiggle the toes so that you get the blood flowing again, and then we'll stretch the feet in the opposite direction. So come onto the bridge of the feet and sit back onto the heels. Now this might be enough for you already. If you want to go a little deeper though, you can lift the knees off and bring the hands next to the side. We'll be here for only about a minute. Release at any point if you feel you need to. Good. And we release out. Again, just come onto all fours. Wiggle around, shake out the feet, maybe even smack them a little against the mat just to wake them up again. Maybe they've fallen asleep. Definitely not because of relaxation. Okay, from here we're going to stretch out the glutes. So you can cross the legs behind you and just come to seated. Okay, for our next pose, we'll go into shoelace pose. So the easiest way I found to get into it is to bring that right foot to the outside of the left thigh, bring both hands to the foot side, and then just tuck that bottom foot under so it moves toward the glute. And then from here, you drop that top knee onto the bottom knee. It's also called knee stack pose, so you're stacking one knee on top of the other as much as you can. It doesn't have to look anywhere near this. We just want to feel the stretch in the glutes. Okay, so sitting here might be plenty for you already. Otherwise, if you want to increase, you can fold forward and relax onto the legs. And release it down. So our aim is to have both glutes down on the floor, just so you know what the posture looks like. But if it's lifting, don't worry, as long as you feel that nice stretch in the glutes. Let's release out slowly, taking your time. And you can unpretzel your legs. Just straighten them out for a second, maybe shake it out. We'll also do just 2 or 3 rounds of windscreen wipers to release the lower back and the hips. So the feet are about mat width distance apart, and you just drop both knees to the left and then to the right. To the left and to the right. Let's do 2 more each side. Nice. Back to center, And we move to the other side. So this time straighten out the right leg, the left foot comes to the outside of the right thigh, both hands to the foot side, tuck that foot, the right foot under, and then drop the top knee onto the bottom knee. And again, both glutes are on the floor, feet are next to your side as much as you can, and we're going to release down again. And slowly we release. Very nice. Okay, again we just release, straighten out the legs, shake it out. Let's do a few rounds of windscreen wipers again, so the feet mid-width distance apart, and drop the knees from side to side. You might travel a bit on your mat here. If you're walking forward, don't worry, it's normal. And another mode of transportation for you. If you don't feel like walking, just like windscreen wiper your way forward. Good. Our last set of poses include a supine twist and another glute stretch. So you can make your way all the way back down to the floor. And keep the left leg extended, hug the right knee into your chest. From here we bring the right foot onto the left thigh. And you can grab hold of that right knee with the left hand and gently guide the knee over to the left hand side. Okay, so you can keep that right foot resting on the thigh or maybe even bring it down to the floor. And you want to keep both shoulders on the floor, so we're not rolling over onto the left-hand side. We want to get the twist in the back, and maybe you start feeling the stretch in the glutes as well. You can extend the right arm out to the side and look over the right shoulder. We keep the left hand on the thigh to gently either guide us deeper into the twist or just to help the leg to stay there. gently release out. Just take a moment to hug both knees into the chest to neutralize a little, maybe rock from side to side to massage the lower back. And then we'll transition to the other side. So this time the right leg is extended. We keep the left knee hugged in and place that foot down onto the right thigh. Grab hold of the knee with the right hand and guide it over to the right hand side. Again, either keeping the foot on the thigh or dropping it to the floor. Left arm extends out to the side and we look over the left shoulder. Close your eyes and find stillness in the pose. Slowly we release out, take your time. And again, hug your knees into chest. And then in your own way, make your way back up to seated. You can close the eyes and bring hands to heart center. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be protected from inner and outer dangers. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you be happy and find true peace. Namaste. Thanks so much, yogis, for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this class. I know it can be challenging if we hold these poses for so long, but it is really good to balance your yang practice, your high intensity practice with yin classes every now and again. Your body really needs and deserves it. Now that you've nourished the body, maybe you're in the mood to nourish the mind a little bit as well. If that's what you feel like, you can head over to my channel and look at this week's podcast episode on personal development. This week's topic is how knowledge or realization does not equal transformation. So find out a little bit more about how you can transform your life and take it from realization to actual change. Other than that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening, and I can't wait to hang out with you again in the next video. Namaste.